I cannot believe I am now 8 weeks postpartum. I mean, technically I'm 10, but that's neither here nor there. The last time I did a video, it was at 2 weeks postpartum, so a lot has changed from that until now. So I'm going to talk about what has happened since then to my body, and just fair warning, just like with every other pregnancy video I've done and just pregnancy in general, this is going to be TMI, and I'm going to talk about things about my body that maybe you don't want to know about unless you do want to know about it. The first thing is that I did stop finally truly bleeding at 4 weeks. So I thought that it was gonna be a couple of days, maybe 11 days at the most, but no, it took a whole 4 weeks. It's normal as long as it starts to fade off. It's not good if you continue bleeding heavy. If it starts to get lighter and lighter, then that's good. This is kind of gross and weird, but it did happen, so I'm gonna tell you because I was not the only one. Because I had an epidural, I did have to have a catheter put in. It felt like someone was tugging on my what is called the urethra, basically where your pee comes out of. It felt like someone tied a weight to it and it was just hanging, and it hurt like that. It would hurt to pee, it would hurt if like cold water got on it. It lasted for a while, like a month and almost a half, like to where it really finally went away. I'm guessing that's what it was from. It was from the catheter being put in, and it felt really tender to the touch, so like when I would wipe, like it would hurt. I was like, ow, I don't want to pee anymore. I'm tired of peeing because it hurts. It hurts to pee. I did finally look down there because it started getting itchy, like really itchy. And I'm like, God, do I have an infection or something? This is so bad. Like it itched so bad. But what it was my stitches were falling out. And see, I thought my stitches had fallen out a long time ago, like around the 2-3 week mark. I didn't know that they were gonna last 6 weeks, a little over 6 weeks. But since I didn't really want to even mess down there, I wasn't really checking or anything. But at the 6-week mark, I finally was like brave enough to check, and I was like, oh, okay, I still have stitches. I can feel them. I still felt 2 stitches. And that's why it was really itchy, because they were coming out, they were falling out. The midwife told me that the stitches were, oh, don't worry, the stitches will fall out on their own. I knew that, but I didn't know that they were gonna last that long. I thought they were gonna fall out sooner than that. Now, when I finally did look down there, I was actually like, oh, it doesn't look as bad as I thought. Of course, I waited till almost 7 weeks, 6-7 weeks to look down there. So I couldn't have looked when it was fresh and raw. I'm glad I waited. Another thing that happened that I didn't know and was freaking out when I found out that I had this, I had separated abs, and there's a technical term for it. I cannot think of it. I will insert it in here somewhere. But I had my abs separated, and let me tell you, it is the weirdest, grossest thing to feel your ab muscles literally split in two. You're supposed to lay on your back like you're gonna do a crunch pretty much. So you bring your knees up, and then but your feet still on the floor, and then you kind of do a crunch, but just your head, like you bring your neck up so that your abs contract. Well, then you poke like this, and you can, if your abs are separated, you will literally feel 2 muscles on each side coming together, like, and a huge hole in your stomach. Like, you can press all the way down to, until you really feel like pulsing. So that freaked me out because I did not know I had that. And the reason that I figured out that I had it was because as time was going by, like I was losing weight or whatever. My body was going back to normal as it can be. And the only thing was that I noticed that, especially like towards the end of the day, my stomach would still have this pooch. And it wasn't necessarily like fat, because things were starting to fit me, like pre-pregnancy and all that stuff was starting to fit. So it was just this weird pooch, and I'm like, what is it? But it was hard. It wasn't like flabby, which is why I was so confused. And so I looked it up, and they're like, oh, it's called mummy tummy. And mummy tummy is a lot of times caused by the fact that your abs are separated, and it's pretty much your intestines and everything just sort of not bulging out, but it's not being held back by your ab wall like it normally was, like it was before. So it's not, and I noticed that because when I would eat, especially after I would eat, it would be bigger. And so I was like, what? That's weird. And so I did the little test of doing my head and everything, and I could push my fingers all, like, not all the way, but yeah, it was gross. And I was like crying because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like broken. So because mine were only barely 2 fingers, like this 2-finger width, then it was okay, and it's considered like normal, and that it'll probably heal on its own. Some people have like 5 fingers worth, and the only way that'll heal is through surgery. So since then it's been getting better, and my stomach has I've noticed like not as bulgy or puffy, I guess, so that's good. But it was really creepy when I first found out that I had the separated abs. You know, I did start working out, but I did wait until the 6-week mark, and just to be on the safe side. And I'm really at this point not running. I'm mostly just doing strength training, so like lifting weights mostly. I'm still not quite ready to run, just because I don't want to weaken what's called the pelvic floor anymore. I want that to completely heal. Or I no longer pee a little bit when I sneeze. That doesn't happen anymore, and I heard that has to do with your pelvic floor, and if it's happening, like, it's actually not normal. So there's pelvic floor specialists that you can go see that can check it out and make sure that it's okay, because some people have been cleared to exercise by their doctor, but then if they go to see a pelvic floor specialist, they tell them, no, you can work out, but don't run, or don't do this, don't do that. So it's not just like, yeah, go, because their pelvic floor is still weak. And then if you don't help it, it just continues to stay weak instead of strengthening. But now I'm gonna do some belly shots so y'all can see my belly and the aftermath and what's going on with that. So this is from the front, and you can see that I still have the line here. My belly button still is kind of sticking out all kinds of weird. You can see that I still have stretch marks, and they're like weirdly in a perfect circle. You can see exactly where they stop because of that's the part that my stomach stretched. This is from the side, so you can see still here again that there's still like loose skin right here that's kind of jiggly. Of course, all the body changes. This is the prize that you get at the end, and it's very much well worth it. Right, little one? Right, my little munchkin. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all next time. Bye. What the hell? Okay, Little Mermaid.